Good afternoon. I am Dr. Tyra Hodge. We're going to talk about building culture among your school. We know that if teachers don't feel included, staff members don't feel included, if they feel like they're outcasts, we have a higher rate of losing them. So, the purpose of today is to give you some traits that are based on research on how to keep the culture and the momentum going at your school. Today, I'm going to use this book, 10 Traits of Highly Effective Principals from Good to Great Performance. If you would like a copy of this book, please contact Professional Development. They may have one for you. Number one that I found in this book, it talked about a principal should be a good communicator. You did not receive the position that you're at without knowing how to communicate, because you had to communicate in your interview that you were the best person for this job. And so when it comes to school culture and school climate, you still have to be able to communicate. A communicator has to be genuine, but you also have to be able to listen. One of the best strategies that I've seen throughout the years is when an administrator is interviewing somebody for maybe an incident that happened on campus, that they're taking good notes so that the parent or the student or the staff member feels like they're being heard. You have to have the ability to be able to present the vision that you have for that campus. If you can't explain it, then of course we can't follow through with the vision that you have. Also, a good principal, you got to have the ability to motivate. These are trying times. There's so many what ifs. There's so many changes that have happened in our nation, and the ability to motivate will go a long way with staff. Here are some statistics about communication. 86% of employees and executives cite that a lack of effective collaboration and communication is the main cause for workplace failures. So just take that in for a minute and think about the different places that you've worked. Think about the places that were highly successful, but also think about the places that needed a little work. How was the communication? Pause this video and take some time just to jot a few notes. Number two, a principal, you still have to be an educator. You have to be self directed. You got to take the time to continue learning. We always say that we're lifelong learners. We have to be lifelong learners, but then lifelong givers in the information that we learn. You need to be up on the research, trends that are going on around in your city and in the nation, in your state. You have to be a motivator, be able to motivate people to learn. Not only are you motivating yourself to learn, you're motivating your staff and the students. An educator should also be in those classrooms where the learning is taking place. More than anything, as an educator, we love to get knowledge from our principals and our supervisors to know, so we can know a little bit about what they know. We love to see them teach us. Some more things about being the educator part of being a principal. A good leader develops new leaders, because the more you have your system running, the better it can run without you. You have many important things to do throughout the day. So By raising up and developing leaders, you are making your ship sail great. Number three, a principal is great with innovation. They have a vision, they have a purpose. You know, a lot of times if when you fall into education, it's usually not by chance. It's usually because you felt called or drawn, you wanted to help people. Don't forget that. Don't forget, think about what your mission is. Think about what your purpose is. What is your mission and your vision for your environment? Here's a quote that I just love. Managers help people see themselves as they are. Leaders help people see themselves better than they are. On a day to day basis, we want to make sure that after working with us, people leave better, they leave stronger, and they see themselves doing more and overcoming more. A leader is also a facilitator. They're building bonds with their community. They can see potential in people and they learn to tap into it. I've had to learn as a new leader to use we instead of I, because it's really about all of us coming together with a shared vision and shared purpose. It's not on one person, it's on all of us. If one of us wins, we all wins. If one of us fails, we all fail. Build up an emotional bank accounts. Get to know your people. Set time aside 1 day a week to get to know new people on your staff. Just a hello or a good morning, and or I see the great things that you're doing, or I heard about the great things that you're doing, could go a long way in staff retention. Value diversity. The facilitators, they promote parental involvement. I know it's hard in our areas, and so with that we have to figure out how to pull in um, our parents, because they do work, because they live far, because sometimes there's a lack of transportation. There's all these things that hinder our parents from getting involved. But a wonderful leader can figure out how to overcome those hurdles. Don't forget that you are in education for students. Find ways to spend time with your students. Number five, a principal is a master of change. You know, uncertainty hits us all the time, but when it comes, we have to be ready to stand. We still look to the future and know that we can overcome the obstacles that are placed before us. Sometimes, as a leader, we have to be willing to change ourselves. If we find that we're having high turnovers, maybe we need to look at ourselves to see, is there something in me that needs to change? Um, a good leader is always evolving. We don't just stay the same. We know that the power lies within us to create great change, and also to find the strength and the means to help others change. Trust your team. Trust your team and trust your leadership. Number six, a leader is a culture builder. They understand and appreciate the power of culture. They know what good culture looks like. They facilitate the development and core values and communicates them clearly. They reward and they cheer for those who enhance their culture. I remember the different milestones that happened with me a few years ago in the district. The district not only just gave me a pat on the back, they celebrated with me throughout the whole district when I became Super Lady 2018. The district celebrated with me when I got my doctorate. They made a big deal about it. And so, I mean, those are the things that have kept me here going on 8 years. So, your staff, they're doing good, amazing things. People are doing great things in the community. Let them know that you know. Let's support and let's celebrate all the accomplishments because they're not just the accomplishments of one. They're the accomplishments of everybody. Number 7, the principal is an activator. They know how to get things done. They do take risk. They don't have time to micromanage. We got to trust the people that we've put in place to do to lead. Sometimes they ask for permission later. Then they ask for forgiveness rather than permission sometimes. They make things happen. They're outrageous. And the theme of this book coming up as a good principal is a cheerleader. Number 8, a good principal is a producer, believes that achievement is the bottom line. We're in it for the students. We're in it to win it. But all of our decisions are based by data. We pay attention to our individual students because our students need us. We have a mission that's set before us and we're focused on getting it done. We make research-based decisions and we hold every teacher accountable, every paraprofessional, every person in the office because this isn't just one person doing this. This is a whole system of people trying to make a school and students successful. Number 9, a principal is a character builder. They are human and they make mistakes. But you have to be willing to say I'm sorry and go on. Be a person of good character, trustworthy. Be respectful. Be generous. Make sure that you're hiring people with the same aspects. Be consistent. Lead by example and by exhortation. Seek the character development of the students. Invest some time into a character development of students. We do that a lot in elementary, but make sure that we're helping them to make good choices. Finally, number 10, an awesome principal is a contributor. One of the most interesting things I've seen in my years of education, I was passing by one day and I saw a principal. This was the head principal of a school, and she was sweeping the floor in the cafeteria. I was like, "What are you doing?" She said, "Well, we're short on custodians. This is my house, and I'm going to sweep the floor." I said, "You are so right." And so it was nothing for me when I was an AP to when there was a overflowing toilet back in the portables, knowing that the custodial staff was far, and by the time they would have got to our portables, poop water would have been all over the floor and everything. So it was nothing for me to go grab a plunger and take care of our building so water didn't get all over the floor and cause more damage. Be a contributor. We're never too big to remember where we came from. Be good stewards of the money that the district's given us to take care of the classrooms, buildings, and schools. Make sure that we're using the money that we get. Make sure that we're putting it, investing into our staff, investing into our students, investing into our buildings. So that's the end of my presentation. I hope that it helped. Get this book, read it, share it, talk to me about it. Leave your thoughts and opinions at the end of this video, and I would love to see what you think of these 10 habits of highly successful principals.